it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, December 7th. So welcome to the full moon day. Of course, we have the moon in Gemini energy, and we will be building towards the peak of the full moon in Gemini energy very late in the day, taking place here at 11:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So many of us, depending on where it is that you're at in the world, will be experiencing the peak energy early Thursday morning. So there are 11 different aspects here today. 8 of them involve the moon in Gemini. And let me just say, if you haven't listened to the astro forecast that I put out for this full moon, you should probably go ahead and do that. And if you haven't downloaded your moon guide, I would highly suggest you do that as well. This is the last full moon of 2022. It is a huge release, a huge purge, a huge cleansing of energy as we prepare to move into a brand new year. We go through the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and everything in between in that moon guide. And it's up to you to do the work, to dive into the shadow realm of your unconscious self and bring some of those elements to the surface of your awareness so that you can have control over this energy instead of allowing this energy to have control over you. So with 8 different aspects here today, we definitely are going to feel this energy build. Please understand that you're going to feel this in your head. This is a Gemini Mercury ruled event. If you haven't listened to this week's ascension forecast, you should probably do that for the rundown on all the physical symptoms that you can expect to experience under these huge energy shifts. But we're definitely going to be feeling the pressure in our headspace, in our throat chakra as well, as this Gemini and Mercury ruled energy rules over communication, expression, thoughts, ideas. We're definitely going to feel a buildup. So the moon starts out with a very positive interaction with Neptune. Neptune is now direct in Pisces energy, its place of power, and we are trying very hard to acclimatize to this particular shift in a direct motion now. We are reconnecting with our higher selves. We are redefining what it is that our dreams are. We are pushing the boundaries of our comfort zones and recognizing where it is that we are wrapping up old soul and karmic lessons, soul contracts, so that we can prepare for brand new ones. Of course, we just came out of eclipse season. We are in this very small window of opportunity, of experimentation. And then, of course, we are building towards the solstice energy, and that is going to essentially reset the playing field of our karmic experiences. So the moon in Gemini right now is trying to channel all of these ideas, all of these visions, all of these dreams. We're in la la land. We're in imaginary land. We're fantasizing, and we're trying to bring it into the egoic mental realm that Gemini energy rules over. We have to bring it into our physical bodies and add some logic and practicality to that in order to see how we can bring some of these visions and dreams to life. Mercury, the ruler of this full moon, goes ahead and makes a very interesting interaction with Uranus. Now, keep in mind that Mercury just moved out of Sag energy and just shifted into Capricorn energy late last evening. So this means that, first of all, the ruler of this full moon event is in Capricorn energy now, in Earth energy, the manifesting energy of the zodiac. And we are looking to wrap up the loose ends of the past in order to clean the slate in the here and now for us to start building towards our future realities, our future selves, our long-term goals. So Uranus is the great awakener, likes to zap us with information, likes to just throw wild card events at us, disrupt our plans, all to show us where it is that we're overly attached, overly fixated, overly in a rut. And of course, Uranus has been retrograde in Taurus energy for quite some time. We got some earth-on-earth action taking place here. And even more interesting of a dynamic is that Uranian energy is the higher octave of Mercurial energy. What does that mean? It means that Uranus rules over our highest realm of intelligence, our highest mental plane, where we're connect to different realms of intelligence, different dimensions, if you will, from our higher self. And then we bring that information, those ideas, that inspiration into the crown, into the awareness, and bring it down to the lower level intellect that Mercury rules over so that we can do something about it, make something of it. And this particular interaction is definitely going to add some electricity to our physical bodies. Our central nervous systems always get activated with Uranian energy. And Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, very, very much divided in our thoughts, in our choices, in our decisions. Why? Because this is the Gemini full moon, and that's what this is all about, is really finding common ground, finding the path, the choice, the decision, the direction that feels best to our soul space. And Mercury just shifting into Capricorn energy, we are definitely focused on our long-term goals. However, we are also focused on these karmic chapters that we have to wrap up before we can go ahead and start building upon the new. So this is definitely a lot of pressure in our physical bodies, definitely a lot of pressure in our head space. We may be derailed with a lot of information coming in here today. That is what full moons are all about, a full illumination of a new perspective, a new understanding, a new perception of our current realities. So we have Venus interacting with Pluto in such a way that would suggest that we are going to have some power struggles in our relationship dynamics. Now keep in mind, Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and money and pleasure, she is in the final degrees of Sag energy, preparing to shift into Capricorn energy in just a couple of days. Pluto, the great transformer himself, is in Capricorn energy, really helping us to boss up, to step into our power, to take control over our lives. But we also need to sit in the depths of our darkness, in the depths of our pain, realizing where it is that maybe we're not happy, maybe where it is that we're trying too hard to keep the control in our relationships balanced and even. Maybe we are being illuminated to some of the things that aren't bringing us happiness, aren't bringing us joy, aren't bringing us pleasure, nor safety, security, or stability. Now, the element that we have going on here is an external realm element, which means that things are coming at us here today that we have no control over. And because we're in this full moon in Gemini energy, because this is about new information and details coming at us, because we have Mars backing this in a retrograde, really adding some spice, some fuel to the fire, some repressed energy, anger, frustration, agitation, the whole 9 yards, we're definitely going to see some explosions take place in our personal relationships that will illuminate a totally different perspective on how it is that we see people, how it is that we feel towards people, and how it is that we are going to likely rewrite their part in our future plans. So the moon makes a positive interaction with Jupiter. Jupiter is about growth and expansion, beliefs, abundance, blessings. He is in Pisces energy, so we just went direct in that energy. We are trying to reconnect with our higher selves, redefining our dreams. We've learned some spiritual life lessons. We're renewing our faith and our trust. And because Jupiter is shining a bright light on where it is that we do need to grow, the moon in Gemini, of course, is over here, very excited to enter into brand new territory, to experiment, if you will. However, still very divided. We have 1 foot in the ego plane, 1 foot in the intuitional plane, 1 foot in the heart space, 1 foot in the head space. We don't know if we're coming or going. We get very excited when there's a prospect of a new vision, a new reality, a new type of experience that awaits us. But then our ego kicks in and, of course, claps back, comes out with all the fears, the doubts, the insecurities, and just makes us kind of want to settle for this uncomfortable situation, this uncomfortable reality that we absolutely have a desire to change and improve. However, our ego gets involved and kind of clamps up and inspires us to just stay where it is that we're at. Now, the moon is going to make a very awkward interaction with Pluto. Pluto's trying to get us to change, trying to get us to transform, trying to push us into our path, trying to show us where it is that we have to get control over our inner dialogue or inner narrative, where it is that we have to get control over the conversation in our personal relationships that likely isn't going too well. We are definitely fixated on some particular topics and themes that need to be illuminated, need to be fully expressed. And again, This is creating a situation outside of our control in our exterior realm that we do not have control over. The one thing we do have control over is the way that we choose to react or respond to elements, to topics and themes, to information and details coming at us. You cannot allow the storm out in the outer realm to sway you off of your game. This is the inner realm strength that we need to have. And right now, because of all the information, all the shifting details coming at us under this full moon in Gemini, you best believe that you are going to be tested. How strong is your inner realm? How flexible are you to kind of blow in the winds of the stormy information coming at us from the external realm? The moon is going to sextile Chiron. This is a beautiful energy. We're going to be thankful for this because it's a positive aspect. So instead of exposing our wounds, we are going to expose where it is that we've healed some wounds, where it is that we are growing, where it is that we are improving ourselves. This also comes down to recognizing that standing in our power, standing in our self-confidence, our self-worth is what is needed in order to implement some of the boundaries that have been non-existent, that have put us in situations to continuously be interacting with people that constantly show us the wounds that we have still alive and well, still needing to be healed, still needing a little bit of acknowledgement. So this is like a beautiful aha moment in our inner realms, in our heart space, in our head space, on where it is that, guess what? We have a lot to celebrate. We have healed. We have grown. We have improved certain situations. Of course, there will always be elements that we have to work upon. But right now, we're really starting to hype ourselves up, to be optimistic, to be confident about this new path, this new direction that we are now preparing to walk into. The moon goes ahead, bumps into the true node in not the nicest way. The true node is our soul's path. It's where we have to get in alignment in order to have a new mission, a new purpose that is alignment with our soul's exploration of how we can reach our fullest potential. The moon, being in Gemini, again, very divided, having a lot of pressure, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things to process. The true node is showing us in the external realm that we do not have control over, where it is that our plans need to change, where it is that we have to revise our plans, re-edit what it is that we thought we were doing, especially when it comes to some people in our lives and the roles that we're allowing them to play. The sun goes ahead, bumps into Uranus. Let me just say it's taking place in a way that is going to be a shock, a jolt of energy. This is like a sudden awareness on where it is that, guess what? We realized this isn't making us happy, or that this is sucking the life out of me, or this is really triggering me, I'm very angry, or this is where I've built up guilt. This is where I've built up shame. This is where I'm resentful of certain people. This is going to be a huge aha moment that we can't unknow. And the sun, being in Sag energy, is shining a bright light on a brand new truth, on a brand new perspective. We're seeing people, we're seeing the elements in our lives from a totally fresh set of eyes. But this Uranian energy just likes to rock us, and rock us in a way, because he is retrograde in Taurus, to illuminate for us absolutely where unhappiness, discontentment, unsatisfaction is alive and well in our lives. And once we know this, we can't unknow this. And once we know this, we have to do something about it. What are we going to do about it? Well, that's where the moon in Gemini comes in. We have choices, we have options. We have different paths, different directions, different scenarios. Which one is going to take us to our, I'm going to say, end goal? What is going to bring us closer to the reality that we want to manifest? And what is going to take us closer away? This is going to be a time to get in touch with your heart space, with your head space, and really try to identify what needs to stay and what needs to go. The moon opposes, sits across from the sun, giving us our full moon in Gemini. Again, peak energy. Pay attention around 11:09, 11:10, 11:10, 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is when the energy is going to be at its most direct, most potent, most peaking energy, if you will. Again, if you're into doing the full moon activities, be out around this time. This is the most potent alignment that you could possibly get. If you want to explore what this full moon in Gemini is all about, again, listen to the astro forecast, download your moon guide, but just know that this is when we are going to feel at our most craziest, at our most chaotic. This is the boiling point, and then once we reach this potent energy, we will feel the energy dissipate. Now, if you listen to the forecast and you downloaded your moon guide, you would know that Mars is a huge player in this particular full moon. And just minutes after we have this peak direct full moon energy between the full moon and the sun, the moon goes ahead and conjuncts exactly with Mars. Now, they're both at 16 degrees. They do differ in the minutes that they have the gap between, but the moon comes up to Mars very quickly because, of course, the moon moves a lot faster than Mars does. And let me just say that this is going to add a little bit of spice, a little bit of fuel to the fire, as if, we didn't feel this energy build up all freaking day. We're definitely going to feel hot and heavy. We are going to feel our blood boil. We are going to feel an immense shift in our passions and our desires, and that can be both a good thing and it can be a bad thing. What we're getting down to the nitty-gritty about is that, we have a lot on our heads, we have a lot on our hearts, we are on the cusp of making great change. There's a lot of restlessness, a lot of impulsivity, I would say. We can't act out of I'm going to say ego. We need to respond out of higher self, because I'm going to tell you, Mars has the capability of putting us all in situations where we could pop off from our lower vibrational self and create a lot of drama, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. And you know what? We have to keep ourselves in check. This is why we do these energy forecasts, in order for you to stay ahead of the game, so that when you feel these energies rising within you, when you feel them coming into your awareness, you can say, oh, I knew exactly that this was going to happen. I know my choices. Here's how I'm choosing to channel the energy. And hopefully you will choose to respond from your higher self. So just know that we are going to be in for a very intense emotional and mental day, and that we are going to reach that boiling point, that breaking point, when we have our direct full moon energy at the very end of the day.